Hello everyone, I welcome you all to my Day 8 Angular 8 training session. So if you see, I already uploaded 7 videos on Angular 8 and you can go through this video. It covers all the important starting from the basic to advanced level of Angular related concepts. You can go through this and it will really help you in learning Angular. Just I have uploaded 7 videos and today is our last video on Angular 8. Then we will close this. Our Angular 8 training is going to be ended today. So if you see, like, if you click on this, you will find some videos on CSS3. I uploaded 3 videos on CSS3. If you again click, then you will find videos on HTML5 also, 4 videos on HTML5. Those who are interested to learn HTML5 and CSS3, you can go through this video. And this is my YouTube channel link. Please subscribe to my channel. You will be notified whenever I will publish new video. Again, I want to remind you that today is the last video on Angular 8. And today we are going to cover one of the important concepts in Angular 8, that is authentication in Angular 8, how we can authenticate our application. And authenticate means unless and until a user has logged in, we could not able to access our application. That is called authentication. Only the logged in users, only those users which are valid, they are able to access our application. Along with that, we'll see how we can restrict some of the modules on the basis of role wise, like those users having the manager role or admin role, they can able to access that module. The rest of the users could not able to access that module. We'll see that. So if you see, this is my application, this is my home page. I made this home page available to all the users, whether it is logged in user or logged out user. It is of no, like, it does not matter whether you are logged in or logged out. So it is accessible to all the users. So let me click on this product module. Let's see what happens. On click of this product module, you'll see I am getting this login page along with a alert message that login is failed. Again, we will go to the home page. If I will go to the order page, then also I am getting this login failed message along with the login page, because unless and until a user is logged in, I am restricting the user to access this product and order page. And then come to the home page again, same with the user page also. So user page has one more extra implementation. Is like user page is only accessible to those logged in users who are having role of manager. Users having the role of manager, they can able to access this users module. Rest of the user could not able to access it. We'll see how we are authenticating our application. So for authenticating, we are using JWT token. So we'll see. So for JWT token, let me type JWT token creation. Okay, there is one site where we will so this is an important site where we are building our JWT token. So actually JWT token we will get from our API layer, from the service layer. So as we don't have any API or service layer, we will manually create our JWT token here. Okay, so this is an important website where you can create an JWT token for the demo purposes, for the POC purposes. Okay, so here if you see, this is the important site where you will find the issued at time, means the time at which your token is issued, and the expiration time, what will be the validity of your token, and audience, subject, these are like some of the information on JWT tokens. And if you see, this is the claim, additional claim. This we can consider as the payload for the token. So JWT token contains the payload. Like payload means whatever the data we want to send in the JWT token, we will configure in the payload section, in the claim section. Okay, then we will come here. So on click of this, if I will click on this, we will get the token, a random generated alphabetically ordered. So this is our entire token. So we have to use this token whenever user usually get logged in. And let me tell you, like, as I already informed, this token we don't have to manually copy paste it, because this token is being created at the backend side from the API side, and API team will provide you the token and you have to use that. So As we don't have any API, so we'll use this token and we'll paste in our login component. So what is like, how is the flow? Flow is like, just imagine we don't have any API, just imagine for time being. So user has to enter the e number and password. So once user enters the e number, let's suppose my e number is this one and password is something like this. Okay. So once user enter the e number and password, on click of login button, what it will do? It will call the API. API will take the e number and password. API will validate whether that e number exists in the database or not, whether the password for that e number is correct or not. When both the validation get successfully done, get success, this validation, whenever this validation gets success or the user is a valid user, then what API will do? In the response, API will provide the token, and that JWT token we have to subscribe in our Angular application from the API. So by subscribing, we will get the token which is being sent as a response in the API. So once we get the token from the API, the next thing UI has to handle, next thing Angular has to handle. So once we get the token from the API, we have to store in a local storage. Then we will have to play with that for authentication. We'll see how we will play with that. So as we do not have the API, so what I have done, I have taken the token from here. And let me go to my login component.ts file. On click of login, I am storing in the local storage. Local storage dot set item. This is the syntax for storing in local storage token, and this is our token that I have taken from that website. Okay, so I pasted it here. So here we can imagine, just imagine we have a HTTP call like this, http.post call, where we are providing the API URL along with payload. In payload it contains e number that user has entered, okay, and password. Okay, so this is my password, let's suppose. Then what we have to do, it will call the API by using this URL. Once API will validate it, once it gets success, API will send the token. What we have to do, we have to subscribe to that response that API has provided, because API will provide the observable, because we are calling the HTTP calls that we know. So this is the response. Okay, so once getting the response, what we have to do, in this curly braces, what we have to store that in some variable. Let it be constant token equal to, in response I am getting response token. Okay, so here we will get the token which is being provided by the API. So this should be the code, and this 2 line of code, it should be written within the curly braces. So this should be the actual code for the login function, but we do not have any API, so I cannot able to show that. So just we have to imagine we call the API on click of login button, because this login function is being called on click of login button. Okay, so let me show you. This is my login button. Input type equals submit, value is login. This is login button. It's a submit button, so that's why it will trigger a submit event, in which the login function is the event handler for NG submit. I mean, like on click of login button, this login function will be called. The controller will go here. It will call the API for validating the user enter in number and password. Once it will get validated successfully, we will get the response. From the response, we have to retrieve the token. We have to store that in our local variable. So once we retrieve, we have to store in local storage so that it will be reusable. And then this line, we will come to this line. So this line means if the user means here we will validate, once we are storing the token here, we have to retrieve the token. I am retrieving the token in this service, and in this service I am calling a function each token expired, whether the token is expired or not. So by using this, we are like, if token is expired, then it means user could not able to access the modules whichever the user has clicked. If it is not expired, then user can able to access it. So this last line means whenever token is not expired, then user will by default move to the product page. So I am doing like if we, unless and until you log in, so if we will, so let me go to my application again. So unless and until you log in, you could not able to access other modules except the home modules. Okay, so let me go to the home module. So what I am doing here is, now I am in order. I want to click on the order module, but we are not logged in. That's why our login page appears. Here I will provide the e-number and password. Once I provided, on click of login, we will navigate to the product page. Because by default I am navigating to the product page if our login gets success. This is the importance of this last line. Okay. So let me undo my code because we do not have any API. So we will write normal the 2 line of code that we have to write after we get the response from the API. Okay, so this is done. So this is up to the login screen. We have a login HTML in which we have a form and we have a button, submit button. On click of submit button, we are calling login function. In the login function, if we are storing the token in a local storage, then if token is not expired, then we are navigating to the product page. That's it for the login screen. Next thing is how we are restricting, like user has not, how we are implementing the token expiration concept. So that concept, how we are implementing, we have to go to this auth.service.tsy. This is the service file I have created. As you already are aware of that, is whenever we are creating a service, we have to provide that in the provider array of app.module. So if you see, you will find auth service here. Okay. So this is the service. Even I have created 2 more service, auth guard service and role guard service. We will come to these 3 services again in a bit. So we have a auth service. In auth service, what we are doing, we are creating an instance of JWT helper service. So by using dependency injection, then we have a function. This is our custom function. You can give any name, which will return a boolean method. In the boolean, what we are doing, in this function, what we are doing, we are retrieving the token from our local storage. So that is why we are storing the token in the local storage, so that it will be retrieved in the service. So we are storing by using set item. Token is the key. Then for retrieving, as you all know, for retrieving we have to use get item. Then we have to use the key token. Same key. We will get the token here. Then what I am checking, this.jwt helper, which is instance of JWT helper service. Then in that for this object of JWT helper service, there is a method provided each token expired method. In that we have to provide the token that we have get from the local storage. So it will validate, like this entire line will validate what? It will validate whether the token is expired or not. If it is expired, it will return true. If it is not expired, then it will return false. So once again, if it is expired, then true is written. If it is not expired, then false is written. And we are negating the response. Means if the token, let's suppose this case 1, you consider the case 1. Let's suppose the token is expired. Then this line will return true, the negation will be false. Why is this negation I am giving? We will come to that. If it is not expired, then the response of this line is false and negation will be true. If it is expired, then we are returning false from this function. If the token is not expired, then we are returning true from this function. Okay, because of the negation. Okay, so this is the code. Then what next? Next is I am creating an authguard.service.ts file. Okay, in authguard.service.ts file is like it's a service file in which we have to implement can activate guard. This is the important concept. This is our main focus for today's session. So can activate is a routing guard in Angular applications which is used for authentication. If you want to do this kind of authentication, we have to use can activate guard. And can activate is an interface, so class has to implement it. Interface has a method called can activate, which is returning a boolean value. So just if we just forget, just for time being, just forget this line. Let me comment it. Okay. So I will tell you what is the use of this can activate function. This function is return type of this function is boolean. We have to return true or false. So actually this function is working like if we are returning, if the return value is false, then what it will do? It will restrict the user to navigate to that page. So if the return type is false, then user could not able to access the module whichever the user has clicked, and user will by default navigated to the login page or any default component whichever we have configured. And if it is returning true, if the return type of this method is true, means if we are returning true from this method, then if user has clicked on any of the module, user can able to access it because that user is a valid user. If false, it will restrict the user from accessing that whatever the module user has clicked. If it is true, then user can able to access that module. That's the concept of this method. For returning true and false, we have to write some logic. So in our application, I have taken the help of token for true and false, for returning true and false in this method. Okay. So we'll see how it is being written. So what I am doing, I am calling this.auth.is authenticator method. What is auth? Auth is an instance of auth service. Okay, auth service I already have shown you. This is the auth service that we have created, in which we have a method. This method is returning true or false on the basis of whether token is expired or not. Okay, and this method we have to call in the if condition. If this.auth.is authenticated, so this method, as I have told, this method, when the token is expired, this method will return false, because if the token is expired, then this line will evaluate to true and negation is false. So that's why false is returned from this function when the token is expired. As it is returning false, we are again negating it, so the entire line will be evaluated to true. So the entire line is true when the token is expired. Then if the token is expired, then we are navigating the user to the login page, so that user will log in again. Along with we are displaying some message like login failed by the use of snack bar. Snack bar you guys already know, it's the Angular material concept. So I already covered the use of snack bar in my previous videos. You can go through that. Okay, and we have to return false because, as I have told, we have to return some boolean value, and it should return false if we need to restrict the navigation. And if the token is not expired, means what it will do, means if the token is not expired, we'll come to this here. So if it is not expired, then this will return false and negation is true. So this method will return true if token is not expired. So as it is returning true, then this line will be evaluated to the true, the negation is false. So the entire line will be evaluated to false. So if it's not executable, so controller will not go into the if block, it will go outside of the if block. So it will directly return true. So it means when the token is not expired, we have to return true, so that user will be able to access the module whichever the user has clicked it. This is the concept of can activate guard, and this is the important concept by which we are handling the authentication. I hope everything is clear up to this. Okay. So we'll see in application perspective. So let me do inspect element. Okay, it's a very interesting topic, and it's one of the important concepts because authentication is almost needed in all the applications. Okay. We'll go to the local storage. So if you see in my local storage, we are not storing anything. There is no key value pair available. Once I click on the login button after entering the number and password, we will get a key as token, and in value we will get the random character, the token that we have received from the API. Okay. Because we have to store the token in a local storage. Let me do. So for e number I am giving 31234. Password is anything. So the valid password I'm providing. On click of login button, so it will call the API, it will validate my in number and password, and we'll get the token from the API, and we have to store that in a local storage. So on click of login, see my token is get stored in the local storage, and as I have explained, by default if the login gets success, we will be navigated to the product page, because that's why we have written this line, this last line. When login gets success means when the token login success, in the sense like when token is not expired, then we can able to navigate to the product page by default. This is our starting. Now if I will click on the order, I will able to access it, even the child tabs also. Okay, and if I go to the user also, we are able to access it because our token is not expired yet, it's a valid token. Okay, so and we have a logout button. This is the logout button. On click of logout button, I am clearing the local storage. I am removing the token from the local storage. On click of logout button, see what will happen. Let me click on this. Our token is get cleared from the local storage, and we are navigated back to the login screen. If I will try to access the product page, I could not able to access. If I will try to access the order page, I could not able to access. If I will try to access the user page, I could not able to access until and unless we have unless we are a successful login. So once we get successfully login, we will get the token and we are able to access the module that whatever user wants to access. Okay. Then comes how this can activate guard is like restricting this navigation. So for restricting this navigation, we have to configure the can activate guard in our routing module. We'll go to the routing module. How we have configured, we'll see. Okay, so we'll go to my routing module. This is my routing module. Let me open it. Okay. This is my routing module. If you see, for the home, I have not provided any restriction. It is accessible to all the users, whether logged in or logged out. So for the rest of the pages, for the product, we have can activate. This is the service name of can activate guard or guard service. This is the service that implementing the can activate guard. Okay, we are binding in this part wherever we have configured the routing. Then we have order. Also we have a can activate guard. So we have provided the can activate guard on the order, so it will guard the children path for the order also. Okay, we don't have to mention in the children. If you want to provide any guard for the children, so there is another guard which is can activate child guard. Functionality is same, name is different, so it is for guarding the child only, not the parent. But if you want to guard the parent as well as children routes, then we have to provide the can activate guard in the parent. It will guard the child as well as parent. And for the users module also we have can activate guard. But in users module, if you see, I am using another service, role guard service. So because for the users, what I have done, the users, only those users are able to access the users module which are having a role of manager. Expected role for accessing the user page is manager. If the user has a role of manager, then those users will able to access this. Here for this extra kind of information to be provided, what we have to do, we have to take use of data property, that is also can be configured in the routing. So data, always the syntax will be like an object, which is the key that you can give any name of your choice, then you can provide it a role. Here we can provide the array also, array of roles. Even we can provide one more, like if you want to provide one more property also, we can provide as many property as possible. Like we can provide permission also, like create, view, edit permission for the user. That also we can able to provide. So for time being and for simplicity, I have provided only roles, and that is only one role, manager role. It means user page will be accessible to those users having a role of manager. That's it. and we are implementing role guard service. We will see how we are implementing this role guard service. We will go to the role guard service here. So it's the service. So we have to provide that in the provided array of app module in our module. So in the app module, we have role guard service in the provider array. Whatever the service that we are providing in the provider array, we have to import also. Like we have imported auth service, auth guard service, role guard service also. Okay. So all the service has to be declared within the provider array of the module. And we are declaring in the app module because it should be applicable to all the component, entire application. Okay. So we'll go to the role guard service.ts file. Role guard service is implementing same can activate guard. So it's an interface. So we have to implement can activate method. So now this can activate method takes one parameter, which is of type activated route snapshot. We'll see what is the use of activated route snapshot. And we have to import the activated route snapshot from @angular plus router. Okay. Same as we are in we are importing can activate guard and activated route snapshot from angular plus router also. So we'll see what is the use of activated route snapshot. So activated route snapshot is used for reading the data property that we have configured in the app routing module. So in app routing modules, we have configured the data property for providing the hard-coded data like the role for the user for accessing that page. This data property can be readable by using the activated route snapshot class. Okay, so we have to create an instance of this activated route snapshot class. So by using by this way, so can activate guard is a method having one parameter which is of type activated route snapshot, and can activate guard means can activate method always return a boolean value, true or false. Okay, like same as in the auth guard service.ts. The only extra thing is here we have a parameter for reading the data property. Okay, then the same story repeat. First of all, we have to read the expected role whichever we have configured in app routing module. So route is an instance of activated route snapshot dot data. Then it will access this. Then data is an object. We have to access the expected role data dot expected role. So it is a route dot data dot expected role. We will get the manager here. This constant variable will contain the manager. Then we have to retrieve the token that we have stored in the local storage assigned to a constant variable. Then if the token exists, we have to decode the token. Okay, so why we are decoding the token here, and this decode function is available in the JWT decode package. Okay, we have to import decode from JWT decode. Okay, so why we are decoding the token? So decoding is needed to get access to the payload, because in the payload of the token, if you see, let me show you. This is the token that I have used, and in the payload, this is the payload means the claim section. In the payload, if you see, we have role in which we are providing the role that is applicable to the users, and which is an array. Okay, the same token we are using. So once you decode, we will be able to access to this payload. This is the entire payload. Payload means the data contains in the token. For get access to this, we have to decode the token. We will get the token payload. Then in the if condition, so because here we have to return true or false, because if you can activate that, so you need some condition. So here same story repeats, this dot auth dot each authenticated, along with we have an or condition for matching the role. Like if the token payload that we got dot role, it will access this role, which is an array. I am retrieving the 0th index of the role array. Okay, because we need the manager. So after know we have configured the manager, so that's why here also we can write like we can get the index of manager. Then after getting the index of manager, we provide the role, then the index. So for simplicity, I have given the 0 index so that it will be manager. So if the manager is not equal to expected role, if this condition is not matched, means if the user that logged in is not having the role which is needed for accessing the user's page. If this condition is false, then user will be navigated to the login screen and we are returning false. This is what. So here we are validating the token is expired or not, along with we are validating the role. User should have the corresponding role for that page. If the role is not matching with the role that we have configured in app routing module.ts file, then the user will be navigated to the login screen and we have to return false. That's it. So extra thing here is we have to decode the token and we have to write this condition whether the role is matching or not. If it is matched and token is not expired, then user will be able to access the user page. If the token is expired or role is not matched, then user will navigate to the login. That is the logic. Okay. So I forgot one more concept, like in app. So if you see, so let me go here again. Where, okay, auth service.ts. We are using isToken expired method for retrieving whether the token is expired or not, which is being available in the JWT helper service. So this JWT helper service also we have to import in our app module. Okay. The app module, if you see, this is the syntax. We have to import JWT helper services service. We have to provide it in the provider array, and we have to import the JWT helper service from @auth/angular-jwt. Along with JWT helper service, we have to import JWT option also. This is the syntax. So these two are needed for working with the JWT token. Provide is JWT option, use value also will be JWT option. And this JWT option and JWT helper service we have to import from this package auth/angular/jwt. Okay. This is the important configuration that we have to do to work with the JWT token. And one more concept is like we have to install the JWT token. For installation, so I have written some code here. So let me go to the here I have this. So these are the two npm install command that we have to run to work with the Angular JWT token. Okay. So this is the first command. We have to copy that and we have to run it in our command prompt. Then after it executed, we have to run the JWT declare token. So once we execute this command, why this command is needed? To get access to this package auth/angular-jwt. Why this package is needed? Because we have to access JWT auth service, JWT helper service. So because JWT helper service we are fetching from auth/angular-jwt package. For that we have to install this. We have to execute this command in our Node.js command prompt. Then we have to install JWT decode token. So we have to execute this command also. Why this JWT decode is needed? Because for decoding our token to get access to the payload, we are using decode function. This decode function is available in JWT-decode package. So we have to install these two commands to work with JWT token. npm install auth/angular-jwt and npm install JWT decode. Okay. So this should be your first step before coding. Forward this one. Okay. So we almost covered. So let me see in application. Okay, how this role guard is work. I will go to home page again. If I click on the user page, I am not able to access it because I have not logged in yet. Let me log in. So let me click on the login button. On click of login button, we are getting the token in the local storage, and by default I am navigating to the product page. Now I will click on the users page. We are getting access to the users content because now our token is not expired and we are having the role of manager. Let me change the role to some other role. So let me change manager to admin. Okay, so let me save. So we compile. Yeah, we compile. See, so now I will go to the home page. See, now I have the token in my local storage. You don't have to log in because we are not logged out yet. I can access the product page, I can access the order page, even the children of order page. But when I will go to the users page, I am navigating to the login screen, even though our token is not expired because our role is not matched. Here I configured the admin role, and in the token payload we have a role of, so here we are getting manager role which is not matching with our admin role that we have configured. That's why our this condition evaluated to false, we are navigating to the login. So if I will change the role there, the hard-coded role to manager, then our code will work. Okay. No need to log in again because token is available and it is not expired. If I will go to the user page, I am getting the data. This is how role guard works. Okay. So I guess everything is crystal clear after this. The authentication in Angular application using the can activate guard and along with the role based authentication. So it is going to be really helpful in authentication implementation in your application using the JROLC token. And JROLC token way of authentication is nowadays one of the popular way of authentication. So like by JROLC authentication, we can also make sure like users should not be logged in till the entire lifetime. So users should after the token time will get expired, user will be logged out. That kind of implementation we can achieve with the JROLC token. And for this token expiration time, we have to increase or decrease the expiration time of the token. Like if I will take in 20 minutes, if I will click on this, so just keep an eye on the expiration time in 20 minutes. So the expiration time gets changed. So the token will be expired within 20 minutes. So I will, for this, like what I have to do, I have to create a new token which is having an expiration time of 20 minutes. If I will use this token, then our token will be expired after 20 minutes. And why I am showing this here, because this kind of expiration time we can configure in. So whatever you are seeing here, the same will be done in the API side. Token expiration time, token issue time, so we don't have to take care of this. So as we are not having any API, so I am explaining from here. Okay. So this kind of like expiration time handling, like users should not be logged in till your entire lifetime. There should be some expiration time for the users logged in. Then we have some role-based approach should be there, so that some modules will be accessible to the users having a specific role. So this kind of achievement will be achieved by, this kind of requirement will be achieved by using the can activate guard in Angular. So thank you guys. So this is our last video in Angular 8. I hope those who are with me, those who are continuous doing my Angular videos up to date everything. So I guess every audience of mine will be confident now enough, having enough confidence in Angular 8. Please like this video, please share my channel, please subscribe to my channel and give some feedback. I will work openly. I will make our further session interesting on the basis of your feedback. Thank you guys.